Today we're going to look at something that we're kind of familiar with because we've owned a Highlander hybrid for almost 8 years. But this one is a little bit different. Not only is it a Highlander hybrid, but it's a Grand Highlander. This is the Hybrid Max.
Thank you, Toyota.
Yeah, we were always complaining because ours, we call it the Highlander. This Grand isn't just a stretch Highlander. The wheelbase is 4 inches longer, the length of the vehicle is almost 7 inches longer, it's 2 inches wider and 2 inches taller. It's an all-new vehicle giving buyers all the goodness of the regular go-to Highlander and more. For this review, we have the Platinum Hybrid Max in this storm cloud color. Compared to the regular Highlander, I think the styling is a little bit more subtle, less curves, an edgier, chunkier look. Personally, I think this looks more like a large RAV4 than a Highlander. You get standard LED lights, and we have a hands-free power liftgate on this version here. Of course, cargo room is a lot more. Behind the third row, you can fit 7 carry-on cases now. Fold down the third row and you get ample room for your family of 4 or 5 and all your gear. Time to hop inside and take a look. Before we talk about the inside, we have Cynthia following behind us right now. We're just dropping off the car, and I'm gonna get her first impressions of this new Grand Highlander because she drove our other Highlander the most, and it'll be interesting to see what she thinks. All right, Cynthia's just gotten here. First impressions of this new Grand Highlander.
Thoughts. I told you I don't like to be put on the spot. First impression, really easy to get in. And I love the color here.
This is called Portobello. I do really like that these seats, they're leather with suede inserts. They're heated, they're ventilated. This is the Platinum version, so we have heated rear seats as well. And I love the gold or bronze trim all over. It looks
makes it premium.
It looks really premium. And you know, it's like, what's interesting is I'm going to Texas next week to drive the Lexus TX, which is kind of like the Grand Highlander. I don't know what more they could do because this kind of feels like almost like a Lexus. It is, you know, maybe a little bit different materials that they're used, but this is really high-end looking for sure. So how much different is this than our Highlander that we had?
The styling, the room. I like this higher middle console. Like it's so comfy here, and it seems lots of storage. I just literally just got in here, but like it's everything.
She didn't want to be put on the spot. I know she doesn't like that, but no, I just really want to see what her first impressions are, because when I first got in here, I was blown away. You know, and what's different though, like I've done a video on this before when this was at the auto show, but it's almost like when you're going into like Costco or something like that, and you're looking at a TV in a store compared to looking at it when it's in your house, right? Mm-hmm. You know, this is just so much different when you're driving it. It's in your driveway, you're sitting in it, and yeah, you got that nice ledge here. I like where they put the USBs. There's USBs in accessible areas where they should be, like right in front of the passenger. In the back, they're easy to get at. Super comfortable. We have the JBL sound system, the panel roof, head-up display is good. Yeah. Hey?
Mm-hmm. It's not too harsh, it's just perfect.
It's colorful, and another thing that I like, this is a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, and what I like is the CarPlay actually throws itself and displays itself, their turn-to-turn directions onto the head-up display as well. So a lot of times it's only the actual native Navi system that gets put up there, but even if you use your phone's Navi system, which most of the time we do, it gets up there, so it's really, really nice as well. So not just a lot of storage room, you have a lot of headroom, and since this is wider than the regular Highlander as well, you feel like you have a lot of room. You could be a big person, you know, and you don't feel cramped.
No, this is a van, this is an SUV, or this is a truck.
This is a really good alternative for those soccer moms out there that don't want a minivan, but you want something that has 7 or 8 passenger capability. This is a very, very good option.
Love it.
Okay, I already tested this out. Get this. This steering wheel is heated all the way around.
Thank you, Toyota. Yay.
Yeah, we were always complaining because ours, we call it the Highlander because it was only just the sides that were heated. Fully heated steering wheel. Yeah. Yeah, how do you like the drive?
Really nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like heavy, like, but very grounded too, right? And easy for acceleration, like not even trying.
So this is the 2.4 liter turbocharged engine, but then they've matched it with the electric motor in between the engine and the transmission. Now this has a 6-speed automatic transmission. Our Highlander hybrid had an e-CCT, a variable transmission. That's why you don't get that wind up, that you know. So you like that, I know. Yeah. So that's a big bonus. Plus they actually have a rear motor, electric motor on here. Now in Canada, all Grand Highlanders come standard as all-wheel drive. In the US, you can get front-wheel drive only. But yeah, so 360 horsepower. Yeah, I think you're clear here.
Okay, I got it.
Use the power.
Look at this. Not even trying.
Okay, that was a good use of power right there. You know, now do you remember not too long ago we actually had the Acura MDX? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I honestly thought that was really sluggish. Right, and I think you commented on as well. In an instance like that, you're gonna hit that throttle to the floor and it doesn't really do a lot. I think that transmission's a little bit slow. This one, it's instant. You have a lot of torque for that electric motor, so it's really, really nice and it's smooth. Can you believe it's a 4-cylinder?
No, very impressive.
Like we had a 6-cylinder in our old hybrid, and this has more torque. It has more power. You know, this has basically V8 horsepower and torque from a 4-cylinder. It's crazy.
Beautiful.
Crazy.
Very nice.
This is the max. This is the max though. It's completely different than the regular 2.5 with the hybrid system. This infotainment's really actually easy to use too, I find. It's really big, it's wide. Plus you have the panoramic camera, they call it.
Okay.
So you have that. Plus we have the digital rear view mirror. Below the screen, you have all tactile buttons and knobs. I want to turn on my seat heat just like that, or ventilation. I want to control my climate control. Nice dials to use. Nothing has to go through the menu, and you know it's really
right
really
there.
well laid out. You want to park beside someone?
Let me. No,
really?
no.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna check out the.
We'll just go. Oh.
View. Okay, not straight.
Oh, check this out. See how you can see through the car?
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Look at this. So when you're backing up, let's see, you're backing up, you can see under the car. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, see?
Lots of warnings for traffic.
Okay. And those cameras are clear. They are clear.
Beautiful.
All right, so we've had more seat time in the Grand Highlander. It's getting close to our end of our week loan here. Cynthia, what are your thoughts now after driving it for a week?
I was a happy girl when I first time sat in here. Still a happy girl right now. Love the size of it, not only for the passengers, also for the cargos. So much usability.
Yeah, you know, this is a big vehicle. Like it really, really is large, but they've really done a good job on interior cabin space. Even there are other vehicles out there that have longer wheelbases even, but don't have as much usable room in here. So if you want to compare this, let's say to like the Hyundai Palisade, which is a beautiful vehicle, that's a big vehicle. But this one actually has more room than that behind all the rows of seats. Same as the Volkswagen Atlas, which is a monster. This is big. It's a big, big vehicle. Usability, what did you like?
I really enjoy that, you know, the proximity keys for all the doors.
Yeah.
Love that. And also the lock button at the tailgate. It could be the small elements, but you have a family, busy life. All of those makes a big deal, right? To make your life easier.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you know it just drives me nuts when you don't have proximity keys on there. This guy's got to go.
Come on.
It's like, this is a real world review here, you guys. We're on a real road. And of course, we mentioned, hey, the fully heated steering wheel, which is amazing. Also didn't mention, on this Platinum that we have right now, we actually have heated and cooled seats in first and second row.
Love it.
Yeah, normally you don't get ventilated seats for the second row, but you do get this on here. And you can hear the lane departure was actually working there. So lots of safety features on here as well. So styling is subjective. What do you think of this style of this?
I actually really like the styling, even though it's nothing exciting, but it's so subtle, and I think it really fits a characteristic vehicle of family car, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't yell out, scream, look at me. However, I got to give a shout out to my brother. My brother called me a couple days after we had this, and he was in the driving, and he says, hey, I saw this Toyota, and it was a Grand Highlander, something like that, and he says, man, that thing looked pretty good. He works for BMW, okay, and he actually thought this looked pretty good. So once again, styling is subjective. I said it before, this is a great alternative to a minivan, and yeah, so 7 or 8 passengers. Unfortunately, when you go into the top trim levels, you can't get a bench seat for the second row, so you're relegated to a 7 passenger. For a lot of people, that they're okay with that. But that third row, you sat back there, what'd you think?
Plenty of room. Love, it has everything there for you. The cup holder, the USB seats, and then plenty of headrooms too.
Yeah, and you can get 3 back there, so it is a usable third row. The kids actually have found a cool use for it. They folded the second row down, and it's almost like they were sitting in the third row in kind of like a business class cabin in their own pod back there. So yeah, Toyota's nailed it for the passenger room for sure on this Grand Highlander.
Yeah, I think Toyota really heard the family's needs and want, and this is a great family vehicle.
It is a good family vehicle. Now, here's the question though. Do you get the Grand Highlander or the regular Highlander? Because it comes down to price for a lot of people. And get this, if you were to compare like the XLE all-wheel drive Highlander Hybrid versus this one in the Highlander Hybrid, Grand Highlander Hybrid, it's about $3,000 difference in price, which is actually not that much at all. And if you go into the limited trim of both of them, it's only about $1,800, yet you actually have to get the Platinum trim on the regular Highlander to get things like the heated second row and the head-up display, where on the limited trim of the Grand Highlander, it comes with it. So at that point, if you go into the higher trim level, it's almost a wash. It's almost the same price. Now, if you get into what we have here, which is the Platinum Hybrid Max, it's fully loaded, but you also get that 2.4 turbo hybrid engine that we have with 362 horsepower, and it's going to cost you about $4,000 more, but you are getting the top line vehicle, and you're getting 100 horsepower more, which is that's a lot of horsepower difference. But you will pay a little bit of a penalty in terms of fuel economy, because more power, max power, isn't going to come at the expense of good fuel economy. It's going to be okay for sure. So what are we showing here? We are showing 10.8 liters per 100 kilometers. That's being basically a mixture of highway and city driving, and that's not bad, in the grand scheme of things. Our Highlander Hybrid that we owned before, which with the V6, actually got worse fuel economy than that, with less power. And I gotta say, the power in this is great.
Yeah,
like it really does pick up. That torque is so nice, and you don't really need the 8 speeds for the transmission. 6 is fine, because you don't have to gear it as low anymore. You get taller gearing because you get all that torque at the beginning.
However, I do prefer to have a PHEV version of it. You know, just make those short distance of a school pickup, drop off much easier, more efficient.
Yeah, you know what? I hear you, and it makes sense on a big vehicle like this. And a lot of people that own this will have families, you know, and it's those small trips that kill their fuel economy. But guess what? They haven't left it out completely, because on the Lexus TX, which we will have a video coming out very soon, that will have a PHEV option. It's going to be more expensive though, okay? So you can't have your cake and eat it too, but you're going to get a more premium product than this. But as I mentioned, like, yeah, this is a really, really nice product. And I'm really surprised. I wasn't sure what to expect on this Grand Highlander until we actually got it and spent more time in it. And I think Toyota, they have nailed it.
Yeah, they did.
They have nailed it, and this is coming from, you know, a mother of two that is constantly driving the kids to and from activities and all sorts all day long. Yeah, it's been a great vehicle, and we'd have no problem having this vehicle at all. So in terms of competitors, this is going to slot in between mid-size and intermediate, not full size yet. You know, so some people have a hard time differentiating because it's a fine line. So if you look at, you know, it's going to compete with the Highlander itself, but of course it's quite a bit larger. The Hyundai Palisade, the Kia Telluride, the GMC Acadia, and even of course that Volkswagen Atlas. They're all in that same range, and you know, 3-row SUV, and yeah, price-wise, it's going to be very, very competitive as well. It's all going to depend on what kind of features that you want. If you want something in, you know, a PHEV, for instance, you're not going to find it here, but you can get a hybrid when some other vehicles you can't. Have a look around. We're definitely going to give it our family recommendation, absolutely. You know, Cynthia's been driving it a lot and going to and from schools and doing all the activities day to day. It's definitely a hands down. It's a winner, for sure. So what do you think of this Grand Highlander? Do you think they did a good job?
And do tell us what you prefer for a family vehicle.
I still like minivans too, by the way. That's our first drive of the brand new Grand Highlander. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Leave a comment below, as we mentioned. Let us know what you think, and what else can they do, Cynthia?
Like and subscribe, please.
See you in the next video.
Bye.
Ciao.